Serious question. What happened to Carole Baskin's husband? Hello, what's up everyone? I'm Ashley and this is Ashley Talks Movies. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my videos. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Okay, so you've probably heard of Netflix's newest show, Tiger King. And if you haven't heard of it, I would be genuinely surprised because this show is everywhere. It's all anyone wants to talk about. It's all over social media. I mean, my friends are talking about it. People are posting things on Facebook, on Twitter. There are memes. There are so many memes that came out of the show. And I saw the memes before I saw the show. So I was really confused because I did not know what was going on. I didn't understand them. So I thought, okay, I'm going to watch this show so I can understand what is happening. And I watched the show. And we're going to talk about it.
A heart and a soul and a mind. I've learned from them. But Carole Baskin keeps saying, I can't have these tigers.
If he ever had an enemy in his life, it was Carole Baskin.
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens, it's Carole at Big Cat Rescue.
Carole is the Mother Teresa of cats.
We will end the private possession of these cats.
This is my way of living, and nobody's gonna tell me any otherwise.
So to describe or sum up Tiger King in a few words is pretty near impossible because this show is so complicated in the most ludicrous kind of way. You basically have all these different people who are all involved in some way in this world of big cat breeding, selling, rehabilitating. I don't know. They all have something to do with like tigers and exotic animals, but mostly tigers. And the main character in this wild story is a man called Joe Exotic. And he basically owned this zoo in Oklahoma, the GW Zoo, where he kept big cats, lions, and stuff, but mostly tigers. And he has this ongoing feud with going to Florida, because of course Florida is involved. He has this big feud with this animal rights activist named Carole Baskin, who runs Big Cat Rescue. And the two of them, I mean, the feud between these two people overshadows most of what's happening in this show. It's a big chunk of the story. And it's pretty much a driving motivator for a lot of what Joe does. But the whole time you're watching this show, you think this can't get any crazier, and it does. Joe doesn't like Carole because Carole doesn't think Joe should be able to own or sell these tigers. Joe thinks Carole Baskin should keep to herself, and also he's concerned about what happened to Carole Baskin's husband, which we'll get to that in a minute because that's a big thing too. So between these two fighting, you also have all these other really odd eccentric characters that are like in their orbit, right? So you have this other guy who owns a zoo named Doc Antle.
So I'm Dr. Bhagavan Antle, B-H-A-G-A-V-A-N, Antle, A-N-T-L-E, Dr. Bhagavan Antle.
And he's a weird one too because like he like surrounds himself with all these like really young women who like live on his zoo. And he also like provided tigers and things and exotic animals for like Britney Spears like videos and VMA performances or whatever. You have some other people, like people who work on Joe's zoo, who are equally eccentric and odd. You have Joe's husbands, plural. Joe has like 3 husbands in this show. I think 3, maybe 4. I don't know. But he has like 3 different husbands in this show. 2 at the same time at one point, I think. And that's not even those are the strangest things that are happening in this show. There's all these people. This is like a really tangled web of people that are all involved, and it all has to do with this group of people that deal with tigers and exotic animals. My jaw is on the floor at just how absolutely insane and bizarre everything is. You get to a point where stranger things keep happening and you're not even shocked by it. This show. You have the whole tiger breeding, exotic animal selling, trading, whatever. You have murder for hire, yes, murder for hire. You have this cold case involving Carole Baskin. Oh, Carole Baskin. Yes, let's get to Carole Baskin. So Carole Baskin is the owner, operator of Big Cat Rescue in Florida. She doesn't like Joe. She, is pushing for legislation to ban the sale and ownership of tigers. And the show takes a little moment to give devote a whole episode to Carole Baskin and this whole tangled web of her life, where she had like multiple husbands, and I think it was her second husband goes missing. Like, he was a multimillionaire, and one day he up and disappears, and like no one knows where he went. And suddenly, like, Carole falls into a little bit of money, and so this whole time, still the case has not been solved. Serious question: what happened to Carole Baskin's husband? Because no one knows what happened to her husband. And Joe, who again does not like Carole Baskin, has these web series that he does, and he basically spends a lot of time, bringing up these conspiracy theories about Carole Baskin and her possibly killing her husband.
If I were gonna, if somebody wanted to kill you, then they would put like sardine oil all over you, something that the cat wants to eat, not something the cat wants to drool on. Back
to Joe, he hires this producer to create a reality show for him. It was supposed to debut at some point. The footage gets destroyed. Like, there's just so many things that are happening in the show. And like I said, you cannot really sum it up in like one little sentence. It's wild. And the thing is about the show is, like, none of the people in it, okay, not Joe, not Carole Baskin, not Carole Baskin's husband, her current husband, not the one that disappeared, the people who work on Joe's zoo or any of the other cast of characters that are in this show, none of them are shown in a positive light. Like, they're all bad people in this show, right? They're all, like, they all have ulterior motives. Like, you can't really root for anybody. You're just kind of watching the madness unfold and just being shocked by it all. You have to wonder when you're watching it, though, if some of it was how it actually happened, or it's presented to you in a way from some really creative editing, right? You like cut a moment at a certain point to sort of get a certain effect. But I will say this about the show. If you are watching it purely for mindless entertainment, it is great. This show is great to just turn off your brain and watch people do ridiculous, dumb, stupid things. It's just shocking that this kind of world exists and that these kind of people are in it, because it's like, what is happening? So yeah, if you just want to just be entertained and watch something for no other purpose than just to, take your mind off of like the news and stuff, this is great. It's a great show for that, because I sat down, like I said, after I saw the memes, I sat down and I binged this show, and I pretty much finished it almost in one day, because I just couldn't stop watching it. But I do have a problem with the show, in that in the midst of all this, right, all these terrible people doing terrible things to each other and all that stuff, what gets lost in the show are the animals. The whole time I kept thinking, like, you're seeing animals get abused at some point in this show. And I kept wondering, like, what happens to these tigers? Like, what, there's an incident that involves, like, gators, or was it crocodiles? I can't remember. Burning up, and they're gone. And I was wondering the whole time, like, what is happening with these animals? Like, why do these people have these animals? They clearly don't care about them. These animals are being harmed. They're in cages. And it's just a real sad reality. And the show doesn't really address that aspect of it, right? It takes you into this world and it presents these different sides in a way. But the drama that's going on in these people's lives overshadows everything else to do with the animals. The animals get lost in all of this. I think the real tragedy is these poor animals that are caught up in all of this. If you just want to see craziness, watch Tiger King on Netflix. Like I said, it's good for just, you know, turning your brain off and then you'll understand the memes because there's so many memes. And then the Joe Exotic sings country music.
I saw Tiger, now I understand.
Those are my thoughts on Tiger King. If you've seen it, share your thoughts in the comment section below. Did you like the show? What did you not like about the show? What are some of your favorite moments from the show? I guess I could ask that. You can share those in the comment section below. While you're here, please like this video, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe.